On the Howard Stern bulletin board on howardstern.com, they started an Ask Fred Norris poll. What questions would you want to ask Fred? And then here's just a couple. Freddie, up for answering a few of these? Want to give it a shot?
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm sure they're serious, too.
If you had to choose, they are. If you had to choose between staying with your wife or staying on the show, which one would you pick?
Staying with my wife.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd leave the show?
I'd have to.
Wow.
Wow.
Because my daughter's that important.
And then your wife is going to leave you.
That would probably happen, so I may as well stay with the show. You're right. I'm not thinking this through.
Have you ever sniffed coke or smoked pot?
Pot, yes. Coke, no.
Okay.
I've done less drugs than the president.
What do you think of the relationship between Howard and Beth? Do you find them sincere or just a typical Hollywood couple?
See,
Hollywood.
I have no point of reference on Hollywood couples, but I think that people are just being rude when they say that. I think you have a really nice relationship. Seems very healthy and happy.
How do you want to die?
In my sleep.
Out of all the guest comedians who sit in for the news, who do you think is the least talented?
There's one guy that Artie and I both agreed with. He sat down, and in 5 seconds, we both looked at each other and went, I just can't remember his name, David Cross. The most unfunny man who calls himself a funny man.
I don't even remember him.
Fred with a definite opinion, right?
Who is David Cross? I don't even remember.
He was the bald guy that came in. Everybody was going crazy about him, saying how funny he was.
Well, you know what it
how,
is?
like, on the edge he was, how good he is at, like, ripping apart Bush. He came in here, and he was like a loaf of bread.
He has if I'm not mistaken, I think he's the guy who had the low-key persona.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so
but that guy yesterday was very low-key, and I thought he was brilliant.
Okay.
I don't remember David Cross at all.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Because it was only like a month ago.
You're kidding.
Bob Levy makes him look like an amateur.
If you could kick the crap out of one person on the show, either still here or gone, who would it be?
Stuttering John.
All right.
I knew
and I could.
You could beat up Stuttering John.
I could beat up Stuttering John. And if he wants to come back,
you'll have that fight.
Bring it on.
You don't like him?
He was a bit, yeah, I don't like him.
What event in your life has made you cry the most?
The death of a loved one.
You want to be more specific?
My father-in-law.
Your father-in-law?
Right.
Because he actually spoke to you, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He was a nice...
One of the few people...
He likes Fred.
He liked me.
He liked you.
He liked me. He really liked me.
What is your biggest regret in life? These are serious questions, you have to say.
Yeah.
That they're
People really want to know
not being more sexually active early in my life.
I have that regret.
That had to be it.
And what was that all about, do you think? Because I know you've had opportunities.
Very complicated situation. It had to do...
Were you gay at that point?
No.
That's what I thought.
Were you conflicted?
Conflicted only because this... I see KC having that same false sense of moral dilemma. And it ends up being bullcrap.
Right.
That's really what it is.
Nothing wrong
I thought I was
with
being a very moral person, and it turns out I was just being stupid.
All right.
Morality is stupid.
Morality. You'll end up like that poor girl who just walked out of here.
Right, those morals that are beat into us when we're young.
Who do you feel is the most talented and the least talented member of the Howard Stern team?
Certainly Howard is the most talented.
Isn't that nice? I agree with you.
Here comes the whammy.
Everybody get ready.
He's going to get mad at me.
Oh.
Scott.
Scott the engineer?
Scott the engineer.
See, I think Scott's very talented.
He's very talented in his Scott way.
He's not
I better pick somebody else because he's just going to be mad at me.
Yeah, you got to work with him.
Yeah,
I think the damage is done.
No. I'm changing my mind. Scott, sit down. Don't come down here. I have to think about that one. I would have said John, but he's gone, so.
If you had to have gay sex with one man, who would you choose?
I wouldn't. I'd kill myself.
Right.
Good answer.
I'd have to kill myself.
He's heterosexual.
Will you be offended if your daughter hates her name and has it changed later in life? Tess would have
I think it would bother me, but no. I'm just going to love her no matter what. And Scott, I was...
Wait a
minute, you unfunny piece of crap. Hold on a second.
Oh, you can't say that about Fred.
What? I can't say that?
He does
well, I mean, it's your opinion, but it's wrong.
Right, it's my opinion, and I'm always wrong. What do you mean?
You're the least talented, according to Fred.
No. I take it back, Scott. I was just being goofy. I'm sorry.
I mean, Benji is more talented than me. Gary's more talented than me.
You might have a point.
Thank you.
I think you're pretty talented, actually.
I think he's a brilliant engineer. He gets knocked up. I really do think he's
But
good.
you didn't have to answer the question. You're just saying he's pretty talented. You're not saying who's the least talented on the show.
All right, and finally, if you had to get rid of one race, blacks, Puerto Ricans, or Jews, which one would it be and why?
I think that's a ridiculous question.
Well, you got to do it. In other words, to save.
I am not answering that question.
To save the other races, you have to get
It's
rid
like
of
F,
one.
Marry, Kill.
If you threw Iraqis in there, that would be it.
They're not a race.
No, but if you had to get rid of one race, blacks, Puerto Ricans, or Jews, which one would it be and why?
No, I can't do it.
Can't do it.
I'm like my mother.
See, I gotta wait. I gotta.
Choice question.
All right,
if you
now
were-
everybody's gonna get wiped out.
I love people.
Now everyone's
No,
gonna
I don't
die.
act like I do.
Everyone's going to die then.
And then everybody's got to die. I'm not God. I can't pick that.
All right, in characters, Kurt Waldheim. Who would
well, the Jews, they go.
be? Jews first. All right.
See, I got a logical way to answer that
But I
question.
couldn't do that either.
The logical way for me to answer that question, it couldn't be Jews because throughout my life they've been responsible for giving me the most work.
Uh-huh.
It couldn't be blacks because I'm a Knicks fan.
Uh-huh.
So it would have to be Puerto Rican.
I see.
Well, you know what? There's some logic to that, I guess, as sad as it is.
Yeah, it's
But
That's what works for him.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the Jews either because my wife is Jewish and at least my baby went through the baby naming. I don't know where it's going to go from there, but
Are you going to raise her Jewish?
that's up to my wife. I mean, I'm like you. I don't believe in the religious stuff.
Right.
She seems to think it's important.
Let
that
me
they
ask
have a
you
moral
something.
core or something.
Because, you know, we were asking that Sophie's Choice question the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I read in the, you know, we are acting as if it doesn't happen that often. I'm reading a story in the paper the other day with the hurricane. A guy, I think, in Georgia had his two daughters with him. One 6, and the other was a teenager. And they were overwhelmed by the floodwaters, and he could only save one daughter. So he had to choose. He was holding on to the teenager, and he saw the other one floating away, and he knew if he let go of the teenager, she might die, but the other one's floating away. And he didn't know what to do, and he just held on to his daughter, and his 6-year-old died.
Tomorrow, Robin's mother tells us who she would kill if she was forced to. Seriously. Robin or her brother.
Oh, God.
Also tomorrow, Artie's mother decides who
Between Artie?
Artie and his sister. And I'll replay, for those of you who missed it, my mother making her Sophie's Choice, and Fred's mother breaking down and making her Sophie's Choice.
Fred's
Can you
mother was
imagine
cute.
that
Yes.
poor guy?
That's hard. That's
you know,
really-
he's like devastated now because to save one, he had to let the other one go.